I know my light's bright. Abs of October Red. Back with the Coach of the Year.
Big shout.
Well, big results. I think you deserve it. Ben, welcome back. Talk to us about tonight.
Yeah, buzzing, ecstatic for Leigh, two-time champion of the world. Was confident that the first fight could have gone like that. Took 2 attempts, but we got there in the end. I think out of 19 rounds that they shared, Lara might have won 2 or 3. So people were screaming the madness to take the fight, and I think that's been proven that we was right in the first place.
Before we touch on this week's events, what I want to say is the game plan. Now we can talk about it, because like you said, 2 rounds most to Lara. Talk to us about that game plan, because I know we touched on a couple of things where you said he might come out scrappy this time, which he did. He was really frustrated. But your words, Ben.
Yeah, so a big focus from the last time was the expectation of him being reckless, which he is, and Leigh meeting him on the counter, which he did a few times again this time, but a lot more focus on Leigh actually being first, consistently with his jab, stabbing to the body, just maintaining that, being disciplined with that, being consistent with that and not going away from it. In the first fight, there was probably moments that Leigh was waiting a little bit too long and found Lara's timing awkward. He actually come back to the corner and said that a few times. I find his timing a bit awkward, and I said to him, it's because you're waiting again a little bit too long in moments. Doesn't mean recklessly transition and go first, but just consistently sharp change of pace, a little change of look, keeping him guessing, keeping him thinking, or even keeping him picking up his feet and making him reset. So it was needed to be a disciplined performance, and that's what we got.
It was really beautiful to watch, because it was like Leigh anticipated what was going to come back at him, what he'd need to throw, and what would possibly come back. So therefore, he wasn't always in range. He used his range really well this time, so he avoided, those sharp counters that he'll come back with. Leigh was able to get away and evade some of them.
Yeah, so first fight, there was a lot of focus on Leigh actually meeting Lara. He wasn't as reckless last time. He wasn't as reckless as we had anticipated the first time around. He's got a lot of respect for Leigh's power, and Leigh can punch. Obviously, he put Lara down in the second round. So this time there was a little bit more focus on Leigh actually picking up his feet, making Lara move, making Lara pick up his feet. He's not got the best of footwork. It's a little bit less focus on actually meeting him, a little bit more focus on Leigh being first.
If you was to literally judge the performance, you're there watching it, you are that third eye. Everything that's going on, you've either planned for it to happen, or the stuff that's dynamic that's going on in the ring. So if you was to score that fight, not score it, but to judge it, to look at it, what would your overall opinion be of the fight?
How would I grade the fight? I would say I would give it an A, not an A+. I think there's a couple of things still, but there's always a few things to work on. But it was a very good... And listen, with someone like Mauricio Lara, there's very little room for error, so it had to be a top performance, and that's what Leigh delivered.
We've seen that Conlan has fought, and up to, beg your pardon, is it Lopez that he fought in Ireland, and he suffered another knockout on the canvas this time. There's been a couple of things on Twitter where people are saying, Wood's got to fight him next. Your initial thoughts on that?
Wood's got to fight Lopez next. It's a potential, it's a unification. That's potentially a big matchup. I think Mick Conlan's a top fighter. Leigh took 2 losses before becoming a world champion, and now a 2-time world champion. It might just unfortunately be third time lucky for Mick, but I do believe that he can become a world champion. As for what's next for Leigh, we'll have to see. But first, what we're going to do is enjoy this victory.
And a well-deserved victory as well. I want your thoughts then. I'm just going to cover one more question, and it's not to do with any of your fighters. It's to do with Lawrence Okolie versus Chris Billiam-Smith. Obviously, you didn't watch it because you were here. Chris Billiam-Smith won. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not massively shocked by that. I said to some of the lads that I wouldn't be shocked by that. He's a gritty kind of guy. He's the type of guy that he's going to make it a really hard night for Lawrence Okolie, and it sounds like he was able to do that. Obviously, like you say, I haven't watched the fight, but Lawrence is a top fighter, but a lot of respect for Chris as well. I don't know him, but from the lads, some of the lads like Lee McGregor and that have been in the gym with him, they say that he's a real grafter, works really hard, and well done.
The only reason why I asked that is because you're a coach. Like you said, you picked up Leigh, you've worked with him. Lawrence has switched coaches. and it hasn't seemed to have a good benefit on him. So it's the importance of basically finding that coach that you really click with, you gel with, and how much time will you allow that relationship to grow?
Yeah, like, look, I don't want to say too much, but I've noticed there's a lot of bouncing been added into Lawrence Okoli, someone that wants to be set to let their hands go. You know, a lot of time spent bouncing and galloping, and you're taking that away from you. You're a split second behind. The more time you got your feet planted to the floor, the quicker you're going to be able to bring someone onto a shot and make them pay. But yeah, look, I don't, like I said, I haven't watched the fight, so I can't comment too much on it.
And it is your night, so a massive congratulations to you and your team. And until the next time, enjoy your rest. And thanks. You know what? I will say, Ben has invited me to the change room so I could get this interview. He took me personally, so a massive thank you to you.
I always try and do my best, you know. Sometimes it's not the right time to do an interview and I say no. And I know that a lot of you guys, always the media, that is, you know, you spend your hard-earned money to come and invest in yourselves and try to push your channels and doing it for the right reasons and the love of the sport. So I always feel a bit of guilt when I say like no, or not right now, or maybe later. It might be because there's a certain something that I don't want to answer in that moment, or it's just not the right time for whatever reason. But I always do try and do it when I can, because like I said, I know that you guys invest in yourselves and it's a business as well as you love, and I love seeing people try and turn their passion into a job. You know, that's how you should. That's how you should live life. So yeah, if I can help out, I try to help out.
I appreciate that so much. Anyway, enjoy your evening, and thanks for being a guest.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.